what every Russian schoolboy knows.
Good time of day to all of you, my chess friends. This is Grandmaster Yermolinsky. Allow me to continue with a special series, part of my what every Russian schoolboy knows, a special series on how I played against the King's Indian. Well, I focus on that particular system with h3 and bishop g5. Anyway, yeah, I had the audacity of calling it my system. No, it was just a joke. Come on, little take on Aaron Nimzovich, but of course, I would never think of insulting a great player like Aaron Nimzovich was and great writer. And of course, I must mention that I'm not the one who invented the bishop h3. No, h3 and bishop g5 system. I'm not the one who... I just played it often, that's all. Anyway, okay, what every Russian schoolboy knows that you have to be consistent and stick with what works. So, my next game I'm white against a popular master from Oklahoma, Tom Brownlee. Okay, there we go. Bishop g5. Alright, so the knight a6 reply, I already talked about this in our previous meetings. It's probably the best, probably really the best move. When black needs to prepare e5 and needs to get the knight out, this is the least committed decision. And also it's possible for black to maybe to go to a different setup, not necessarily play e5, or at least not right away. Anyway, bishop there, we discussed that already, there's no attack against d4, and then white puts the knight on e2, and there you go. c6. Okay, so allow me to reiterate. The point of the move c6 is to discourage white from castling long. Well, white would very much like to play in the style of Zemish variation, which is castling long and f3, g4, h4, h5. Here he may be a tempo ahead because his pawn is on h3, but that is rather less important. If white gets to achieve some kind of stability on the queen side, he'll attack eventually will steamroll. That's why there is one move here I never want you to play as black, as the move c5. I don't believe that the combination of e5 and c5 in this kind of a old Benoni fashion, if you wish, is going to be effective enough to discourage white from castling long. So c6 in that respect is a good move, but I also analyze this move knight h5. We should always look at knight h5, because the move knight h5 is designed to prevent a setup with g4. Black is looking for ways of putting the knight to f4, which Garry Kasparov has successfully done many times in his games in the King's Indian. So g4, knight f4, and then some sharp play. For example, here, no, I wouldn't trust that. It's just too provocative. Black goes f5. Not only problems are on the e4 pawn, that rook is opened up against the bishop. Here you can see the advantages of a black queen on e8, of course. Yeah. So what would I do in reply to queen h5? Most likely just this. Yeah, and then, okay, we can have that. And now castle's long. Now we know something very similar that white plays in the Zemish when the pawn is on f3. Here black can put the pawn on e4, of course, but it's very questionable if he's gonna benefit from this.